Hey there folks, we are here today on Siwal Frontier, gonna be watching Leonus playing as the Chaos Sorcerer, facing off against RoboCarp and his Lictor Alpha. I find this a pretty interesting matchup because the Lictor Alpha, he's very good in melee, but he is quite squishy, so he's not like a Hive Tyrant, which is good for the Sorcerer, because the Sorcerer's renowned for being pretty bad at focus firing those tanky melee heroes in the early game. Because, you know, you go for your double ticks as usual to overwhelm infantry and get a lot of map control. That means you don't get a lot of ranged firepower. CSM don't have the same output as Tactical Space Marines, but they cost more than something like Shooter Boys or Guardians. And then the Sorcerer himself doesn't have a huge amount of damage and certainly has no range, but the Lictor Alpha can exploit that if he goes to things like Feeder Tendrils. He can become relatively tanky. You've got the Toxic Cysts, you've got potentially Lone Hunter in tier 2 giving him damage resist, and add in the fact that the Lictor Alpha does a lot of damage, Tyranids do a lot of damage, but Tyranids early on have a lot of gaunts. You get a matchup where things are dying left, right and centre, which is basically what's happening already here with the double heretics doubling up on the Hormagaunts there. They had a pretty good fight and this is really good play. It's really strange, I don't really understand why it's the case, but I tell you, when you double up the default heretics, they just get exponentially better. Because heretics on their own get wrecked by Hormagaunts, but you've seen that right there. Even with the CSM model getting killed quite early on by the flesh hook into the Hormagaunts, jumping it. Nonetheless, they had enough pew pew to get rid of most of this force. Perhaps the Lictor himself retreated a little bit early, but damn, he's got a lot of XP to start off with, so that's good for him. He really loves XP as the Lictor because it's not only the HP boost and the damage boost, but it's also the extra energy for his infiltration and his flesh hook. And actually, he can get quite a lot of abilities if you think about it. You got the Toxic Cysts, you've got the Pheromones potentially, you've got Scythe if he goes for that weapon war gear. There's a lot of options in addition to the flesh hook and the infiltrate, so having the levels is nice. Right, so pretty even on the gen situation, not so even on the VP situation. A nice lead here from Leonus. Quite odd that RoboCarp is prioritising the requisition here than the VP. I think the VP would be more important. Not really seen any important Doom Bolts yet. You would think that that's going to be huge in this matchup against triple Hormagaunts. You just Doom Blast, suppress them, and then you hit them with the Doom Bolts. He needs another Doom Blast here. Oh, what the heck? No, Leonus! Oh my god, that was terrible. Oh, he really messed that one up. Threw out the Doom Bolts first for some reason. And then, oh, good save there though. Lictor potentially could have killed that Chaos Heretic, saved by the Cacophony, the Noise Marines. Yeah, all they had to do with the Doom Bolts was Doom Blast first, so the Hormagaunts couldn't dodge it, and then you would have got a perfect Doom Bolt. Too much melee now with the warriors coming out. Remember, that's given the synapse to the Hormers, which gives them damage resistance, so they're more tanky. And it's just too much for Leonus to deal with. He's going to need some more heretics, I think. Maybe. Could go for Havocs, but it's kind of risky when there's Lictor Alpha. What the hell? Friggin' dog wants a pair of socks. He's a sock bandit. I don't know why. I don't know where he's accumulated this habit from, but he just loves running off with socks. So I've had to just give them to him. But God knows the state that they'll be in later. It's tough, it's tough. But Noise Marines are going to be a pretty good choice here against the Hormers. The AoE splash damage is going to do huge chunks of damage to them. And then if you do get overwhelmed, you can use Cacophony, and as long as the Chaos Sorcerer is not nearby when you're using the Cacophony, you can use that on-demand knockback to guarantee a good hit on your Doom Bolts. So we're not really seeing Leonus use that yet, but that is the idea. Like, again, why is he capping? Hurry up! Oh my god, a little bit late again, but that was better. he was a little sooner, he probably would have hit these front two homers, and that would have been GG for that homer squad. He's very poor with his combinations here, Leonus, I must admit. He's not using his doom bolts too well. Warrior's getting relatively low. Looks like there's a coruscating flame on the Noise Marines, but I do like this pickup here, the feeder tendrils. It's a pretty perfect time, really, to get the feeders. Ooh, Leonus staying in melee for quite some time there. Now I'm getting spam called on my phone. Jesus Christ. Yeah, he tried to stay in melee with the CSM for a while to try and pop a Warrior Brood model, but it just didn't happen. Honestly, dude, it's so risky to try and go for those pickups on the Warriors. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think you should try and get that. Obviously, in this case, it's gone pretty poorly for him because it's led to losing the CSM squad. I mean, as far as things are going right now, Leonus is really far behind. In terms of units, I suppose in Eco and VPs is alright. Let's have a look, shall we? So yeah, he's going to go to tier 2 first, but RoboCarp is literally, he's right there now. Yeah, he's really not far behind at all, but he's got 2 extra squads. Both just have a weapon war gear, so Leonus is behind quite a bit. You would expect now that he's going to start bleeding loads of VPs. Let's see how much you can mitigate. The Lictor Alpha is going to be a pain to deal with, though, with his feeder tendrils healing. Because, as you can see, Noise Marines can't really do a lot. And because it's got healing on every hit now, he can duel the Flame Sword Sorcerer very easily. Because he hits really fast as well if you just stand and trade with him. Likewise, Heretics can't really do anything. So this guy's pretty immoral right now. It's very good. It's a brilliant choice. Sorcerer's pretty scary to deal with. Again, I feel like that Doom Bolts wasn't very good. Probably better to target the homers and not the warriors. But Leonus just seems to constantly be fighting in a very staggered manner. He doesn't seem to have his units together. It's odd. Okay, this is interesting. Why is RoboCarp going for the Venom Broods immediately? I mean, does he expect that Leonus is ahead and gonna get maybe a fast Blood Crusher? But yeah, you're the Lictor. You can just call in Venom Brood with your global if it's that desperate. I suppose he'd be concerned about a vehicle rush alongside Noise Marines, potentially then bashing the farm very fast. But your NIDs, you don't need that much power in tier 2, and like I say, you're the Lictor, so you can just call in Venom Brood without waiting for the build time, using the global bar. So I don't like this play, and it's actually going to work out very poorly for him because of the fact that there are going to be Bloodletters first, not the vehicle. Unfortunately, he can upgrade them to Death Spears, but then he actually opens himself up to a vehicle afterwards, like a Chaos Dreadnought. Leonus probably wants another squad of Bloodletters though, because he's just so low on infantry, or maybe even just a default Heretic squad for capping, and then he can use this one that's nearly level 2 and has the AC in order to help the Bloodletters in combat. Nice little execution of the leap there with the Homers. Got right onto the Noise Marines. Okay, Chains of Torment, that's a good play. He's fighting a shitload of melee. So Venom should be redirecting their fire onto the chains, but they're not. They're getting tied up now by the Sorcerer, so yeah, pretty good play there. But that is way too much melee for the Heretics to deal with. Yeah, they've got to get out of there. And now they're in the retreat path of the Sorcerer. Oh god, this is not looking good. Yeah. No flesh hook needed. Toxic Cyst now in play. Just going to make that Lictor even tankier in any melee fight that he takes. 100 extra max HP and 150 HP healed over 10 seconds when he emits those toxic cysts. Which against things like Bloodletters or the Sorcerer is going to be the main value of that war gear, but the actual damage will be good against Heretics. Let's see some synaptic backlash. Surely they're gonna get one. Did they get one? I feel like that didn't even do backlash. Maybe it did. Didn't seem to have much of an impact. Guys, go back and watch that. Did that do backlash when the Venom Brute died? Because that is very weird if it didn't. I mean, they're still giving them basic synapse, even if they're not giving them ranged synapse. Strange.
Ready for eternal war.
Leonus is still quite far behind in terms of units, and RoboCarp's economy is amazing right now. He could literally go tier 3 if he wanted. Yeah, he's going tier 3. I mean, this could be the opportunity here, though, for Leonus to make a comeback, and I suppose it's going to have to be. Can use this Robes of Torment well. Control the melee blob when they're blobbed up like this, and then type the Venoms. Man. Leonus is so far behind, I just don't see how he does it. Maybe he gets some really good wipes with Dark Flames and stuff, but RoboCarp then is tier 3. You can use without number the tier 3 global to drop down the fully upgrade, and that is not a good Dark Flames. Bloody hell, Leonus. I get you're desperate to try and defend your farm, but that was not going to work, really, mate. Come on, you're just wasting your red. But yeah, even if he lost some of the homers, tier 3 nids, they can just drop down another fully upgraded squad of Horms and Termers for cheap in tier 3 with without number, so I don't get it. Also, RoboCarp has kept these as Venom Cannons, and I don't understand why. He's fighting pure infantry. So yeah, lots of questionable decisions here. I know he obviously fears a vehicle coming out. He hasn't seen anything built in a long time, and the prospect of a Dreadnought is actually quite real right now. It could have been coming if Leonus wanted that, but it's not. But still, I don't really see the threat. You have your heavy melee adrenal glands, you could just, like I said, get another one. You're tier 3 anyway, RoboCarp, so just get a Carnifex at this point and be done with it. Really dominating the map control here, as you'd expect, because he's just got so many more units, plus this Lictor Alpha is basically unkillable. Second Bloodletter is going to be the choice for Leonus. Let's see. I feel like the first Bloodletter hasn't even done that much. It's got a lot of XP. But the lack of units, in particular the lack of a cheap default Heretic squad to just run around capping, means that these guys are spending a lot of their time capping when, you know, these are really the most valuable unit on the roster for Leonus. So there you go, there's a worship. So you don't really want to fight this now that the Lictor's gone. I'm not sure you want to fight this. Okay, double Hormagaunts flanking from the side. Probably going to have to disrupt them with Cacophony. But these Noise Marines are very low on HP. Damn. Maybe shoot a Doom Bolts over here once they start engaging the Noise Marines as they retreat. I was trying to run to the safety of the chains. Okay. With the Doom Blast, that actually worked out pretty well. Because it sort of baited these Hormers into staying very long. And the other ones just legged it. Noise Marine's going to rotate to the bash, but I'm afraid this bash is way too late. Carnifex is already coming. That said, you guys know all about that Carnifex train, right? So that does require a lot of power in tier 3, so I guess it'll stop the Carnifex train. Problem is, Leonus can't really even deal with one Carnifex right now, never mind a whole train of them things. Oh, he doesn't even get the full bash, he just gets one. Yeah, he can't take this fight, this is ridiculous. Ooh. Oh, why has he gone Barb Strangler? Why? You can't even suppress the Bloodletters. And all these squads that they're facing, they're not that high range or high model, so I don't really see the point of that. Just go farm back and beat them up in melee. Add on the melee pressure. This is just vulnerable to getting shredded by a shitload of Bloodletters. Oh, God forbid there is a Khorne Dreadnought in melee with it. That will be problematic, but, you know, any Dreadnought, really. Even the default Dreadnought will be decent thanks to its 20% melee resist. And the T-Dread, of course, will massively outshoot the Carnifex. I find this a bit odd. Good thing is he still has the Venom Cannons, I suppose, but I don't like this choice at all. The main threat right now is the Bloodletters, and this is not a good option against the Bloodletters. There's only 4 models on the Bloodletters. They're light infantry, so you don't get the extra damage that you'd get against the CSM or Noise Marines from the Plasma Cannon damage on the Bav Strangler, and the Bav Strangler can't even suppress them because these fuckers don't get suppressed. So honestly, I'm a little bit confused about this choice. I mean, I guess he's just thinking lots of infantry, get Bav Strangler, but I don't think it's that simplistic. I really think the form back would have been a much better choice, and we are actually going to be seeing a Mark of Khorne Dreadnought. Yeah, so if this thing can get into melee with a Bav Strangler, it's going to rip it to pieces. Let's check out the stats, right? Nearly as much HP, but remember that it gets huge damage resistance when it goes in Blood Rage. I forget how much. Is it 40%? 50%? It's a lot. And then the thing is, that stacks with the fact that it's already got 40% damage resistance from having full melee resist. This guy has no melee resist. And this guy will do more damage in melee. 100 DPS. I think this guy does like, what, 80 DPS or something? It'll be a bad melee fight for sure. But Chains of Torment putting in a lot of work there. Is that a bit of backlash? Yeah, that was some backlash. That was good. These guys are going to need to warp out though. Get some worship going. Bit greedy to try and get the cap with the Noise Marines there. Probably would have been better sending them down the bottom. And nothing is tying up the Venom Brood is the problem. These Bloodletters probably want to phase out and go, okay, no. Heretics and Sorcerer are on that. They've dealt with the Harmers. Lictor Alpha overextending a little bit. RoboCarp a little bit desperate perhaps in this engagement, spawning Rippers and Spore Mines, but I'm not really sure what the purpose of them is. Rippers are good against any important ranged threats, but there aren't any important ranged threats. It's on melee right now. A bit of a questionable Bloodlust here. Oh god, and he loses the Sorcerer, so he can't even warp the Khorne Dread away, because he's already lost the Sorcerer. Yikes, not good. Yep, that's a problem. By the time it was obvious that the Khorne Dread was going down, the first thing that you think is, right, where's my Sorcerer? Can I walk my Sorcerer to it? Oh shit, he's getting attacked by the Lictor. Okay, can I just retreat the Sorcerer? No, he was on about 10% HP, so... Because obviously that's what you try and do. You try and retreat your Sorcerer, stall with your Dreadnought, and then warp it out using your Global. But... not possible in that instance. So pretty bad planning, honestly, from Leonus all around. He's going for the Havoc now, obviously getting Makazinch, getting a Las Cannon. Try and take down the Carnifex with that, but... man, he is running super duper low on VPs right now, well under 100, and losing more and more. Both of the players did lose their heroes, literally right next to another. Okay, Leonus is... sorry, not Leonus. RoboCarp has now got his back. But honestly, I'd be rather shocked if Leonus can pull this one off. The hero killing the Lictor was a pretty big deal, though. Draining a lot of the requisition of RoboCarp. He could be getting that Carnifex train coming out otherwise. It was rather weird how the Lictor just walked past the Bloodletters to go for the Noise Marines there. The Bloodletters were far more of a pertinent threat. Still bleeding VPs. He's only got 40 left, and there's over 300 for RoboCarp, so again, I'm not sure how he's going to do this, to be honest. Where's that Carnifex? Oh, it went back to base to heal. I feel like it should have done that ages ago. Again, Noise Marine's going to be the cappers. They can use Cacophony to knock back the melee whilst they cap, so that is one of the big advantages of them doing that job. Hello? Seems to be very late there on the Cacophony. Bloodletters are idling. They finally get a Coruscating Flame. Where's the Robes of Torment? Chains of Torment? I don't know. The Noise Marines are going to get wiped by the melee down here. Sorcerer. Okay, that's not a sorcerer, that's just Bloodletters. But a Tyranno formation dropped on the head of these guys. Jesus Christ. I mean, the last Havoc's still in play. What's it gonna do? It's very micro-intensive here for the Sorcerer. Because of the Infiltration Worship, these guys will not automatically shoot. And they de-set up, and now the fucking AC ticks are dead. And there's Spore Mines on top of the Havocs. Yeah. Pretty damn one-sided game, to be honest. I don't know. I'm not sure really why that was sent in, but okay. Yeah, it was alright, but it felt very one-sided. It felt like Leonus was behind for a lot of that. I can't even remember. Yeah, I mean, Leonus just lost too many things in Tier 1, didn't he? I mean, he lost a CSM squad outright, and he lost a Tick squad early on. And then I think he might have lost a Sorcerer as well, and it just all snowballed out of there. There was a Gem Bash on Leonus, and as soon as I seen that RoboCarp was going Tier 3, even with this choice, which I think was a pretty big mistake, he was just in such a dominant position. And really, Leonus quite fumbled that engagement with the K-Dread and the Stranglethorn. He really needed to not Blood Rage. He needed to keep that K-Dread alive. He needed that badly. I think some more cheap Heretics for Leonus would have been really helpful. Seeing the Bloodletters spending a lot of time capping when there was really fighting to be done, and the Bloodletters were by far the strongest unit that Leonus had, it felt bad. A 200 Requisition Heretic squad, literally the cheapest squad in the entire game, that would have just been perfect for that capping job. But there you go, nice to see a full melee build, and cool to see some Lictor Alpha, not seen him in a while. Hope you enjoyed that one, folks. That's going to be all for you, boy Torpid. This is time. I am signing out.